Hey guys, this is a tutorial on how to download VS Code. VS Code is the industry leading standard for IDEs, which is just a big fancy way to say it's a good software to use to code. So first thing you want to do is just look up VS Code download and then click on the very first link. And depending on your operating system, you'll either want to choose Windows, Linux, and which Linux you use, or Mac. This tutorial is specifically for Windows because I do not own any Mac products, nor have I downloaded Linux itself. So this is going to be more focused on Windows. Now, once you press download, you should see at the very top right of the browser a circle with a download arrow inside, and you want to wait for that to fully download. And then once that fully downloads, you should be able to press that download button at the top right in the browser, and it should lead you directly to the downloaded software, and it should give you a prompt similar to this. And then you should be presented with a pop-up. It should be smaller than what's seen on screen at the moment, but it should look identical. The first thing it'll ask you is to accept the license agreement. Now, I personally have never read the license agreement in its entirety. I'm sure I'm supposed to, and if you want to, you can just go through the whole document and see exactly what you're signing up for. That's probably the responsible thing to do. I personally have not. But you'll want to accept the agreement and then press next. Then after that, you'll be presented the screen to select additional tasks. Now, I typically just leave everything as default. You can always press create a desktop icon as well, so that it's just easier to access the software from the desktop, but I personally just leave everything as default. And then just press next, and then it should say ready to install. And then just press install, and it should start installing. You should see a progress bar of how close it is to being finished, and also a directory. You might want to remember the directory for the first few seconds, as that's where you'll find all of the files. And then just press finish, and it should open up VS Code by itself. And then once VS Code opens, you should see a screen similar to this. And luckily, in the very center, it will tell you how to start and try to give you some pointers. If you press new file, it'll take you to the top. Personally, the way I enjoy making files is by going to the left page, just on the left, and pressing new file. And then you will need to name your new file. And for example, I'll do text.html. HTML is a coding language. For whatever coding language you want, just name the last part the abbreviation for the coding language, like HTML or like JS for JavaScript, or I believe it's PY for Python. And I believe for Java, it's just J. I'm not too sure on that off the top of my head, but you might just have to look up the abbreviation and then name the file dot and then the abbreviation. And then here's some basic HTML code. You have HTML and then body, and then you need the title, and then you can type wherever. And this is a good part to bring up extensions. Extensions are on the left, and it looks like the 4 building blocks stacked on top of each other. And this is where you can download different types of extensions, which just customize VS Code for you, or they can do pretty useful things like live preview I have installed. And this is specifically for HTML and CSS. But as you're coding in HTML or CSS, those are the languages that websites are coded in, it allows you to see a live action preview of your code. So for example, for the little script I just wrote, I'll show you, let's say, the word hello. And then you'll see on the right hand side on the preview, it'll show the words I type in the P brackets, which is just It just means paragraph in HTML. And yeah, that's the use of extensions. But yeah, that's basically all the basics into how to use VS Code and to install it on Windows. So good luck, and I hope that you stay sane despite all of the bugs.